No one wants a lockout. But I think we have to stand firm in what we think we deserve. We're definitely going in with that mindset where we don't want that to happen, but we are willing to do what it takes to, get what we think we deserve.
So it looks to me like the ladies are ready to stand on business and fight for what they think they deserve. But are they ready for the consequences of a lockout? That's the real question. Welcome to the Off Days Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Smith. And we're about to talk about what's been going on in the basketball world lately, especially with the WNBA All-Stars with their silent protests during the All-Star game this weekend, pretty much telling the league that they're not happy with where things are headed with these CBA negotiations. So based on what I've been reading on multiple reports, it sounds like the Players Association left more frustrated than relieved. New York Liberty superstar Breanna Stewart, who is also the vice president of the WNBA, she spoke about, how the meetings went over the past week. Listen to what she had to say.
Yeah, I think yesterday's meeting was good for the fact that we could be in the same room as the league and the board of governors and that type of thing. But I think, to be frank, it was a wasted opportunity. We could have really kind of gotten into a deeper dive of everything, but it was a lot of fluff that we couldn't get past. And it sucks because situations like that aren't going to happen again, because players are playing for different teams in different leagues, and this is the only time to have the groups together like this.
Some of the feedback is obviously some of the numbers are happening so quickly and so dramatically that it's hard to really kind of figure out what's going to happen in even a few years from now. But our explanation behind it is you have new teams coming into the league paying
$75 million,
$50 million
entry fees.
A lot of money to come in, plus the new TV deal that's starting into effect next year. There is money there, and we just want a piece of our pie. That's really what we want, and we know that we're very important to this league and the success that it has.
All right, so let's talk facts. The WNBA has never turned a profit since it was created in 1997. The WNBA has lost money every single year since it's been around for 28 years straight. The WNBA is still subsidized by the NBA. And the WNBA, despite having a record-breaking year in attendance, ticket sales, merchandise, TV ratings, they still lost an estimated $40 million last year. That's facts. That ain't speculation. But let's talk about the positive facts too. The WNBA is expanding the league to 5 more teams over the next 5 years, with the Golden State Valkyries being the last team to join. And off of those expansion fees, they're making an estimated $250 million. And the W has a new media rights deal on the table for $2.2 billion. The last deal they had wasn't even close to that number. I think that last deal was about $450 million. So that's in the ballpark for about 5 times more than what they got in the last CBA. And based on the information that's out there, it finally looks like the W is in a position to turn a profit for the first time in almost 30 years. But the owners aren't really sold on that too yet, and I think that's why they're being bullish in these negotiations right now. Now, according to Yahoo Sports, the Players Association gave the WNBA 50 things that they want to see change in the new CBA. The WNBA looked at the list, they reviewed it and everything like that. And guess how many things they were able to mutually agree on? Just take a quick guess. I'll wait. 3 things. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 things. Keep in mind now, these conversations have been happening for several months now. So the fact that out of 50 things, you only could agree on 3 things, that's wild to me. And that shows me that the WNBA is ready to play hardball with the players and see if they can sweat it out in the lockout. Now, looking at what some of the All-Stars had to say over the course of the weekend about a potential lockout, a lot of the superstars really spoke out about it. One of the league superstars is very outspoken about it, Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces, pretty much saying that, the league can do right by the players, and, if they got to sweat it on the lockout, they're willing to do that. When we see the revenue, when we see the things flowing into our league, we want that. We are going to demand that because we see it and we see the growth. And when you see a business growing, obviously the people that are working for the business should have some say in it as well. She also went on to say, I think the biggest thing is understanding that this is no laughing matter. This is no trend. This is no moment just now. We're talking about long-term stuff. This is a business. This is a brand. You're dealing with me, my livelihood, and my future, the next generation. So we're going to take this very, very seriously. And I think we're not going to stop until they understand exactly what we want. Now, that's easy to say for Asia because she's a superstar. You know, she has a lot of endorsement deals. You know, she has her own signature shoe with Nike. She's doing great off the court. But what about the small time players or, the players who are the 7, 8 lady on the roster? How are they going to manage the lockout? Let's be real. The average rookie salary for a WNBA player, Caitlin Clark to be specific, she gonna make more than $80,000 in her rookie deal this year. And in order for her to capitalize on her off the court money, obviously she has to have a product to sell on the court, right? So it affects somebody like her to some degree, but she has a little bit of cushion. But what about that player who is really dependent on them checks to get by? Especially when you look at the WNBA when they play their season, during the summertime, and they have to travel overseas to kind of just subsidize the money they're not getting from the league. That's going to be a tough proposition, a tough sell for those players who really going to feel it. So the conversation has always been for quite some time, the ladies want to be paid fairly. Not as much as NBA players, but they just want to be paid fairly. And they see all this new money coming to the table. There's no excuses for them to get their fair share of the pie. So imagine the WNBA being a cake. And the players are the one who put that recipe together and created the cake, and they had that cake baking for so long. Now that the cake is finally out of the oven, it looks great. The frosting looks delicious. It's nice and moist. It tastes delicious. And now the owners are trying to take most of the slices of the cake. All the players are asking for is the biggest slice of the cake. They baked the cake. They put the product on the floor. They've made it marketable. They put it out there to the point that it's almost global. And now they just want a bigger piece of the pie, especially when you have the customer fan base, you have the demand for the people who want a slice of that cake. So why put themselves in a position where these talks are just looking like they're going nowhere? I don't like this for the players. I don't like this for the league. But at the same time, this is business. Nobody agrees to everything on the first offer. So I expect this stalemate to happen for quite some time. But at the same time is ticking. October 31st will be here before you know it. And hopefully we can get something resolved by then. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the WNBA is headed for a lockout? I'm your host, Coach Smith. This has been the Off Days Podcast. Like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm out.